welcome back. This is Miss Mott and Etta, and it's our spring break story edition. We were going to go to Arizona to Sedona for spring break, and since we can't, we're going to read a book about traveling. We're a little bummed about spring break, aren't we? It's kind of a bummer not getting to go on your trips, but we know that staying safe and keeping others safe is more important right now, and that's the best choice. Ed is going to start us with our mindful bell, so find a mindful seat and rest your hands on your peacock pants. I'm wearing my favorite peacock pants. Ed is wearing unicorn pants. Or bring your hands to your belly or to your heart and listen to the sound of the bell. Thanks, Anna. So we're going to read Babar's USA by Laurent D. Brunov with photos by Zephyr. And if you're like, who is this Zephyr? Don't worry, you're going to find out on the first page. We're going to travel today by sitting in our homes, but by reading a book. That's the beauty of literature. You get to go places by listening. Many years had passed since Babar last brought his family to the USA. So when he and Celeste were invited to New York by their American friends, Celeste replied at once, "Thank you so much. 8 of us will arrive on Monday. Babar and myself and our cousin Arthur, the children, Pom, Flora, Alexander, and Isabel, and our old friend General Cornelius." But Zephyr the monkey did not want to be left behind. "You need me to be your photographer," he cleverly argued. So Celeste added a P.S. "Zephyr will come too to take pictures. That makes 9. Do you have a camera we can borrow?" Their American friends, Wendy and Doug, were happy to see them. Although Babar was the king of the elephants and Celeste was queen, they knew that in the USA there were no kings and queens. So at their friend's apartment, they slept on the sofa bed, and the children slept on the floor. They gave the guest room to Cornelius. After dinner, they helped with the dishes. Sounds like some really great guests. Wendy showed them how to work the air conditioning, the TV remote, the stereo, and the new digital camera. Zephyr couldn't wait to go outside and start taking pictures. And look at Zephyr! He's doing one of my favorite yoga poses, legs up the wall, but he's doing legs up the chair. First, they went to Times Square. Zephyr turned out to be a good photographer. Sometimes, when he wanted to join in the fun, he handed the camera to Celeste or Cornelius. They were good photographers too. They spent a lot of time in Central Park. At the famous toy store, FAO Schwartz, they danced on a piano. I love Central Park. Every day they went to see the sights of the city and Zephyr took snapshots. They went to the Brooklyn Bridge and then they went by boat to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. They liked to ride the subway for people watching. They liked buses and taxis for sightseeing. In New York, everybody talked on cell phones as they walked. The children copied them. "I can't talk now," said Isabel to Pom on her imaginary cell phone. "I'm in a meeting." Cornelia said, "I am impressed by the diversity of this city." "What does that mean?" asked Isabel. "It means that there are many kinds of people here," said Pom. "We don't look weird." The children had so much fun in New York that they did not want to leave. But there was much more to see in the USA, Celeste told him. You will like the West too. You will see. We can pretend to be cowboys. Yeah! Doesn't say that part, but I wanted to add that. Isn't that what cowboys say? Yeah. Yeah. And cowgirls. And cowgirls. That's right, Ada. And cowcows. And cowgirls. And they did like the West. They wore cowboy boots and cowboy hats. They cooked dinner outdoors and played horseshoes. They got up and close to a buffalo. They hiked Red Rock canyons. That's what we were going to do. We were going to hike in the Red Rocks of Sedona. I'm glad we got to see it on the picture. They enjoyed the big sky and the clean air. At the Grand Canyon, Alexander said, I hope I don't fall in. And a lady he didn't know at all called him Sweetie and said she would jump in to save him. How beautiful the Grand Canyon is. That's in Arizona too. From the Grand Canyon, they drove to Los Angeles. Do you know where Los Angeles is? What state? Starts with a C. California. California. The city was even bigger than Babar remembered. They spent a lot of time in a car getting from one place to another. And see the Hollywood sign? That's in the Hollywood Hills, right outside Los Angeles. On Sunday, they went to Venice Beach and they watched the strollers, the skaters, and the handball players. Flora and the boys joined the basketball game. It's fun to play basketball right next to the ocean. Later in the week, they went to the Getty Museum, to Universal Studios, and to La Brea Tar Pits. This was where a great tragedy had befallen the mammoths, their ancestors, so they were all sad. But how kind of the Americans to build a statue to commemorate it. In San Francisco, they started to play a game they called observations. Babar or Celeste would ask, what do you notice? And the children each would come up with an answer. There are as many dogs in San Francisco as in New York, said Palm. Adults like cable cars as much as children do, said Alexander. In Chinatown, the shopping bags are red, said Flora. Lots of noticings. Everyone does Tai Chi in the park, says Isabel. And Tai Chi kind of looks like yoga. Very good, said Celeste. Those are all excellent observations. You are very good travelers. Indeed, Cornelius agreed. Travelers observe. What else have you children observed about Americans? Americans say awesome when we would say thank you. Americans say have a good day when we would say goodbye. Americans say no problem when there's a problem. They call children sweetie or honey, even if they've never met them. And they're always eating or drinking. They put their trash in the baskets. What do you notice, Cornelius? Celeste asked. They display initiative and energy. There is an atmosphere here of high-spirited enterprise and self-assertion, said Cornelius. What does that mean? Asked Isabel. Cornelius thought, well, when it rains in the city, someone will show up and sell umbrellas. Cornelius continued. He liked to play observations too. Americans tend to be optimists because this is a democracy. There is no limit to how high they can rise in life. Yes, and size matters too, Babar added. The country is big. If things don't work out in one place, people can move somewhere else. Absolutely, said Celeste. Anything you say about the USA may be true, and the opposite may be true too, because it's such a big country with so many different kinds of people. They celebrated the conclusion of the game by having fried clams at Fisherman's Wharf. That's in San Francisco too. They love fried clams. Babar and his family spent a long time traveling in the USA. They fished in the Pacific. Look how beautiful the Pacific Ocean is. And they hiked in the Cascades. That's all the way up in Washington State, almost close to Canada. They kayaked in Florida. Love kayaking. And they skied in the Poconos. They ate sandwiches and fried clams at diners everywhere they could. They liked Tai Chi so much, they did Taekwondo also. They played cards at a friend's house and cheered at a baseball game. I see C's here and an ivy wall. They're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. The Cubs, that's right. Ooh, this looks very familiar in the South. They love the South. They paid homage to Elvis at Graceland. For country music, they went to Nashville. That's in Tennessee too, so it's Graceland. Where even at the airport, there's a stage and someone's singing. Oh, fun. They visited the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, and they flew in a balloon over California vineyards. Vineyards are where they grow grapes. You can make grape juice, you can make wine. They walked beneath the L in Chicago, and L is an elevated train. That means the train is up here and they're walking under it. And of course, they took pictures in front of the Cloud Gate. I always thought it was called the Bean. All my Chicago friends said that. They rode on segways at the Texas state capitol, and they swam and sunbathed at the beach. Oh, I love swimming so much. I love when waves crash on me and push me down. They saw cities and suburbs, mountains and plains. They got used to being called honey and sweetie. When they had seen the seasons change and the fireworks at Disney World, when they had eaten too many sweets and drank too much soda, they'd all gained weight. It was time for them to go home. Look at those fireworks. Everyone in Celesteville had missed the royal family. When they saw Babar and his family come out of their plane, all the elephants cheered. Then two more planes flew overhead and dropped big crates by parachute. Babar had arranged a surprise. The crates were filled with boxes, and boxes were filled with more boxes, and inside were presents for everyone: computers and video games, cell phones, iPads, and many more digital cameras. The elephants danced with joy. They look like they're dancing with joy. Makes me want to have a dance party. Everyone in Celesteville now loves to take photographs and to send and receive them by email. Celeste sat down at her new computer to write Wendy a thank you note, attaching pictures from her American visit. Almost instantly, Wendy replied, "Hi, Celeste. There's nothing nicer than a visit from friends. Thanks for coming." The children, too, emailed thanks and sent Wendy pictures of their lives in Celesteville, which Wendy was happy to receive. That is the end of our book, Babar's USA, with photos by Zephyr. And the story is written by Lauren D. Bunhoff. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that that brought you some joy for your spring break. Now what you could do is you could find a map and you could look at some of these places that we talked about. You could look up New York. You could look up Chicago. Whoops, wrong way. You could look up Florida. Where's Florida on our map? In California and Washington. You could do all these things. Thanks for being with us. See you soon.